Dear friends, welcome to the 18th episode of iPhone app creation tutorial. Uh, what we are going to do today is learn about how to update an already existing record and save it back into the entity database. So go ahead and open your Xcode interface, open your project book tracker tutorial, and like the customary, we are going to run the program to show you exactly what we're going to do today. So the first time running, as you know, takes a little bit of time, so be a little patient as it would pull up the interface showing you the app that we have created so far. Okay, I will take you to the main storyboard as well, just to showcase you the different screens you have created so far, a quick refresher. And then from there on, once this screen comes up, I will take you forward. Okay, so give it a minute. As it comes up. Right. Taking a little longer time, but should be there with you shortly. There you go. I think the interface is coming up, and this, as you know, is the screens you have designed so far. So you have a tab bar controller, you have a navigation controller here, which has the add book controller. We haven't done anything with the search, which is this one, with the center one being the display which we have created thus far. So we have this center one display, the blue one for add book, and the third one yet to be done. So hopefully the screen is up now. Brilliant. So this is what we have done so far. I think we deleted all the records last time, so it's not showing what books you're reading and all. There's one left to be read, and this is it what you have, right? You know how to add books by going here, but for now let's come back to be read. And if you see here, last time we did put an update, and what we want to do is when I click on update, I think at this point in time it's printing the book name just to showcase its the event is getting called. But what we want to do is we want to update the record. So how you want to do that? So this is what we want to achieve. Once you click update, probably we would like to call the add book one, and we pre-fill all the values based upon what we get right from the database for that record, like last scintilla. We'll fill this up, and then the user can change the values accordingly. Press the same save button and it'll update it. Okay, sounds easy. So let's go ahead and stop this program and go to your file display book view controller. Just to give a quick refresher on that, if you recall, what we did was we created a trailing swipe action configuration for row. We ensured that the delete functions are done accordingly, which is fully functional. Then we called upon the update action. We give the title as update. For now, within this inline function, all we are doing is printing the value. But as you know that update action is given a color gray, delete a color red, and both of these we have said that are my configuration actions which I want to do when user clicks on those. So far so good. Okay. Now what we want to do now is, before even we go ahead and do update and do anything else, I want to show you a few things. The first thing is that when the update action is clicked on, right now I'm printing, which I don't want to do anymore. What I want to do is I want to access my add view controller, right? It has to go automatically there. And once it reaches there, what I want to do is I want to pre-fill the fields with the value you have. So the first thing, the simple thing I'm going to teach you is how do you move between tabs programmatically, right? So far you have been doing by tapping on the icons at the bottom, right? The tab bar buttons that you have at the bottom. But if you want to do programmatically, like if I click on update, it should automatically take me to the add book section. How do you do that? So for doing that, now what you need to do is you basically have uh, a built-in tab bar controller available, because this is a tab bar. If you know, we have created a tab bar, right? So take that, and for that tab bar controller, there is something known as selected index. That selected index start with the number 0. So the first screen will be 0, the second is 1, the third is 2. We have only 3 so far, if you recall, right? So if you can go back to the storyboard, you can see here there's 1, 2, 3. Display, add, and search. So we want to do the second one. So all you got to do is, when you go back here, you say selected index equal to 1. Okay, so when you do that, what happens is it will go to the selected. Well, since it is within this, I've taught you this before, you have to say self, which means for the class file, right? Otherwise, if you don't give the self, it will look for the variable only within the inline function. We did this while we're doing this delete function as well. Okay, so now let's not do anything else but run it and see that if I click on update, will it go to the other screen or not, right? So that's what we wanted to do. All right, so run this. And remember, if I change this to, we are already in 0, so if I change this to 2, it will go to the search window, which is an empty screen. We'll try that as well, but let's try to see how this one works. Okay, so I go to be read, that's where my book is. I say update, boom, you are right here in the screen. Works. Brilliant, right? Now if I want to go to the third screen, all you got to do is make the 1 to 2, and if you have more than 3 tabs, you can keep going. It is always be 1 less because it starts with the index 0. So if you run it, you'll see that it will go to the search index. So we have learned so far that how to move between tabs programmatically, right? So I say update, see this time it has gone to search, and it highlights as well that you're in search. Nice. So now this problem is solved, but now if I go back to 1, only going there won't help, right? I know that I have selected a book and I want to make sure that I update the variables, or rather the fields, sorry, with the right value. So how do you do that? For doing that, the first thing that you need to understand is that how your entire view controllers and tab view controllers are organized, right? So let's go back to the storyboard once again and understand that a little bit more. So this is a tab bar controller. The tab bar controller has many view controllers, 1, 2, 3, right? So it is a set of view controllers which are an array of view controller. But there is a little uniqueness here. They have 3 view controllers, but the first view controller actually have a navigation controller as well, which is not the case when you talk about the other 2 view controllers, right? So yes, you have 3 view controllers, but the first one also have a navigation controller. Where do you want to go? You want to actually go here, right? So to go here from the tab bar controller programmatically, you need to get access to navigation controller, and from that navigation controller you can actually go to the add book view controller, right? To do that, let's go back to our display book, and the way to do that is define a variable. Let's say let, and we'll give it a name, nav control. This is my variable, you can name it anything, nc nav controller, the way you want to name it. Okay, and you say that self, because within this class there is a tab bar controller, right, which we use here as well. This time we'll use it for a different purpose. We'll say get me all the view controllers. So this will give you an array of view controllers, nav controller, but I know that I want to go to the add book controller, which has a UI navigation bar. So I say that I have to cast it, and I'll tell you what does cast means in a little bit later. I'll say cast, which is like as, which is of type, what type? UI navigation controller. See, view controller can be of various type. It could be a nav controller, it could be a normal view controller, it could be a table view controller, it could be a tab bar controller as well. Okay, you can have a tab bar within a tab bar as well. Casting, there is known as downcasting and upcasting. Downcasting is, I say get me all the view controllers, but when you get only the UI navigation controller. So when you cast it, it will downcast it, will only give you all the navigation controllers. There could be more than one, so in our case it is only one. it'll give you the navigation controller. So I go back to the main storyboard just to make sure you understand what I'm doing. I'm getting this controller. Everything starts with UI, so I say UI navigation controller, UI view controller. Okay, so I got the UI navigation controller, right? Once I have the UI navigation controller under my nav controller, from there it's like linking, and I'm threading a link. I have to go to a particular room before I can access the B room because they're connected to each other. I cannot directly go to the B room. So if I go back to the main storyboard, sorry, I just want to make sure you understand this. So to reach here, there is no direct connection. As you can see, it is going via this. So I got this. Once I got this, from here I can again downcast, which I told you, casting to the view controller. How do you do that? So to do that, let's define another variable. I say let, this time I'll say let, this is my view controller. So I can say either view controller, or I can say add view controller, whatever you want to. Let's say for now I'll say I want to get my view controller. Okay, and I said the view controller is going to come from here, right? This is my access door to the view controller, which I have the variable here. So I'll say nav controller, which is the navigation controller, the variable where I have everything. From there I want to get its all view controllers, right? So nav controller dot view controllers. Okay, sorry, there's one mistake I did. That's the reason it was not working, my bad. What I did is let me remark it for now. So I did view controllers. There are multiple view controllers. It will not know which one to go to. So you know this is an array, right? I did tell you, but I forgot to put it. I want the first one, which is 0. Everything starts with 0. Say the 0, and I have to put a forcing it, because what the computer may think is, what if there is no view controllers, right? So you can also fix it like this. So I'm forcing it to make sure that the value is there. So fix it, yeah. So I got the value here, view controllers. 0 means this first one. If I go back again, this is the first one, right? If it has been here, I would have said 1 or 2, right? So 0 will give me this one. That is important. Once I have it, now I can say let view controller equals to nav controller dot. Now it will give you everything because I've gotten access to view. It's a view controllers. It doesn't know it has 1 or 2, but I know that it will be always an array. I want the first one again because there's only one view controller to that nav controller, right? So you see how you're forming the chain. And then I've said this view controller, I know what it is of type. It is of type what? As downcasted to add book view controller. Why? Because if you go back to again main storyboard, sorry for going back and forth, I just want to make sure you understand this better. If you recall, this view controller, all access functions are in add view controller. Remember how we have associated it? I'm going back to that. You see this add view controller, because all my functions are stored in add view controller. So I'm downcasting it. Why am I doing it? I'll tell you a little bit later, but when I downcast it, I have access to this file. Now I go here, what I have said, that I get the 0 view controller, the first one, and I downcast that view controller. See, everything I'm forcing it because computer doesn't know it is truly that one or not. If your association is wrong in the program, this will result in error. But we know for sure that that's how we created everything, linked everything. So this should work fine. Okay. Now, why did we do this? The reason we did this because we wanted to pass certain value from here to there. So for now, just to experiment what I'm talking about, let's go to add book controller. Okay. When you go here, let's try to define a variable just for the timing. I'll say variable test, and I make it string, and I make it empty. Okay. You know that the view did load is called for the first, every time you go, actually view did appear, because every time you'll go, view did load is called once, view did appear will call every time. So when I go to view did appear, so when it goes here, I'll say I want to print string. So I'll say string value is, you have taught you this before. What is the name? The name I gave is test. So I want to print test. I've told this before to you. If you want to print constant and variable together, the variable has to be in brackets and you have to have the forward slash in front of it. That means it knows that there'll be a variable coming. So I'm just printing this value. Let's run this for the time being, and I just want to show you that string will be empty for the first time, right? Whenever we go to add book, right? So let's see this here, and moment I go to add books, it will print something. String value is nothing because I have stored nothing. What I want to do experiment now is, since I have done, when I go to display book and I will do to be read and I'll do update, I'll not do it now, but I want to assign, because I have access to this file, I can assign any value here, right? So I'll assign the value something to test, and that will be printed. Okay, so let's do that. Go back to your display book view controller, and what you do is you come down here and you say, hey, I have down the view controller, right, which is this view controller. When I say dot, I can access everything because this is of type add view controller. Remember, I've given a name test. Bingo, I got the test here. I said test equals to, again, I give some value here. Calling successfully done. Okay, anything that you want to print. And then when I go here, the view did appear will be called here, because when I go to this select index, it will go to this file, and when it go to this file, always it will call view did appear, right? And then it will print this. It will print the value that you have passed. Let's try to run this. So I'm running it. Okay, so when I'm running, this is in display, which is your this file. Let's keep going along with it, right? Display. I got to be read, and when I click on update, it will go here, right? It will go here. It will first get the navigation controller. Then from there, the view control, which is of add view controller type. Then I'm going to assign a value to this test. And you know that in your add book view controller, you're printing it, right? You're printing it here. So it should print the value. Let's see. Oops, there's an error. There is an error. So let's see why there is an error. Oh yes, this is my number 1, not 0, right? If you recall, that's the mistake. Actually, I did it intentionally so that you know. Our add view controller, if you run this, you'll see that 0 is your display, 1 is your add book controller, right? That time I did it, but I forgot to tell you about it. So this is 0, this is 1, add book, right? And this is 2. So now if you run it this time, hopefully it will work. Oops, go back again. Yeah, it did work. Okay, string value is calling successfully done. You want to do it again? You can try it again. Oh, I deleted the record. I'm sorry, by accidentally I deleted the record. So let me run this again. Add a value. You know how to add it. There's nothing here. Oh, it's there. I have to check this why it went away, but anyways, so let's do this. Let's update. Click on update. String value is successfully done. Go back here, it's going away, so we have to see what's going on. The display is not working properly, but we'll worry about it later on. But right now our function is getting called and it is getting printed where we want to. The reason I wanted to teach you this with a test variable is because what we actually want to do is, when we actually run it now, and I will leave you with this exercise so you can do it next time. When you go here and you do update, instead of testing this, what you want to do, you have this text field, all the text fields, you simply assign the book name, author name. You already have the book name, author name in the array of book, right? That you have already done. You need to assign it so that when it comes, by default, it populates everything. We'll do one more thing. Instead of add book, we'll change the label to edit book. And here also we'll change the label to edit book. So with that exercise, I leave you guys to try it out. Happy coding, and please do subscribe to my channel. Please spread the news. It's absolutely free. As you know, there are 18 episodes so far. There's a lot you can learn all by yourself. You can also ask me questions. If you are not clear about certain concept, if you are not uh, if you're having another question to ask, or if you want to learn other things which I'm not teaching here, which you would like to try or do, please leave a comment in the comment box so that I can come. I read all the comments, and I can come back and help you out with that. So with that, happy coding, take care, bye for now.